Hello loves, welcome back to Spiritualista. Today we're going to be diving into another pick a card reading, and this time it's all about whether your person secretly misses you. So what hidden emotions they're not saying out loud and what spiritual lessons are unfolding between the two of you. So before we start to see what's still haunting them about this connection, I want to remind you that this is a general reading. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And also, if you would like to go a little bit deeper into your specific connection, you can book a personal reading with me through my Etsy shop, and the link is below. So how does this work? Right in front of you, you have 3 different piles here, each holding 8 tarot cards each, as well as 3 oracle cards and also 1 affirmation message in each pile that is connected to your specific situation here. So we're not going to get any spoilers. I'm going to reveal 1 card at a time so that we can extract as much information as possible from the energy of that card specifically. I also have these 3 images here, as well as 3 different crystals that you can look at and try and tune into. So take a deep breath and just center yourself a little bit and just let your intuition guide you towards which pile you feel the most connected to. If you're drawn to more than one, it's absolutely okay. You know, sometimes there might be a little bit of messages here and there for you, like additional messages waiting in other piles. So just make sure to pause the video if you'd like and just take a little bit of time here and choose which one you feel the most connected to. And you're going to be able to find timestamps for each pile below in the pinned comment as well as in the video description so that you can jump straight to your selection here. So let me get into the 8 questions that we're going to be talking about today. So each pile is going to have the same questions but with different cards. And the questions are, what is their current emotional energy towards you? Question number 2 is, what triggers their memories of you? Question number 3 is, what do they secretly miss the most about you? Question number 4 is, how are they coping with your absence? Question number 5 is, what holds them back from reaching out? Question number 6 is, if they could see you again, what would their unspoken wish be? Question number 7 is, what is the spiritual or karmic purpose behind the separation? And question number 8 is, what is the most likely next step or future energy between you? So those are the 8 questions, and that's it. So just trust yourself, trust your inner knowing, and choose your pile here. And let's uncover what's really happening beneath their silence here. So I'll see you in your pile. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading. So if you chose this little card here, please take care of yourself. Or maybe you chose this red crystal here, then this is the reading that is going to be resonating with you today. So I'm going to put these little placeholders here to the side, and we're going to start laying out your spread. So let me just move these away. These are the oracle cards as well as the affirmation card. I'm going to put them here as to not forget about them in the end. And let's put them out. And like I said, we're going to be turning over each card one by one and talking about their messages. So let's see here. All right, so make sure to take a deep breath, maybe prepare something cozy for you to drink, and just sit down and relax for your reading, and we'll be getting right into it here. Yes, everything is in frame, very good. All right, so I'm gonna start by flipping over the first card, and that is the question, what is their current emotional energy towards you? So that is that card over here. Let's see what it says. Yeah, so we have Temperance in reverse. All right. And yeah, with the pick a card readings, like occasionally the cards do fall out in reverse. And in that case, I do keep them in reverse because I feel that there is a message to you in that. So this already speaks a lot about what's going on within them here. Because Temperance, like usually when it's upright, it's all about patience, right? And it's about harmony, you know, just being able to integrate several different energies and sort of blending them together here in a balanced way. So when it's reversed, yeah, it feels unbalanced. Literally, it's something within them that feels unbalanced here, and kind of like they're juggling, right? And there's this restless energy here within them. So when they're thinking about you, it doesn't feel calm and it doesn't feel neutral here. So almost like there's a little bit of chaotic energy here going on with them, and a little bit of overwhelm here. So I feel that it's imbalanced, right? So like one moment they might be convincing themselves that they're completely fine without you, and then the next moment they're, just your memory just hits them like a wave that they can't control. So it feels like they're swinging a lot between these extremes here, and like wanting to shut the door completely, and also just being pulled back in to the emotions that they feel towards you. So, and also Temperance reverse, like since it's a card about patience upright, it does point to impatience like that. So it feels like they sort of want answers, and they sort of want like to resolve this now, but they're not sure on like how to create that balance. So I feel like they're forcing themselves to move on here and to just numb their feelings for you, but it's just not working for them. And it's kind of resulting in them feeling a little bit irritated, They might be feeling a little bit jealous because they're thinking about you. They feel this nostalgia towards you, and it's just not working. It's not sticking, right? They can't really move on from that. And there's also a little bit of ego here. I'm sensing this energy too. At least there's an undertone of ego that's just kind of tangled up with that emotion. So they're not in the place right now with a lot of inner maturity about this connection. And they might be reacting a little bit out of pride and out of self-protection, rather than just being actually honest, both to you, but also to themselves about how they feel about you. So it's that imbalance creating that, they're likely feeling quite uncomfortable here, and maybe like even a little bit frustrated with themselves for not being able to just get over this connection. So if you've been picking up on mixed signals from them, and where their behavior isn't really fitting or matching their exterior, this is what's confirming that here. Because beneath whatever mask that they're wearing around you, they're just not as composed as they would like you to believe here. So definitely there's, this emotional imbalance in the energy here towards you, and it's really messy, right? And it's very restless here. So definitely very much far from resolved, the situation. And it's that inconsistency between their feelings and also their need to appear in control here of the situation, which they aren't. So I'm really curious about this one. The question number 2 is, what triggers their memories of you? So here we have, so King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. All right. So it's a very grounded, there's like a very earthy energy here. So in the context of what makes them think of you, it's telling me that, this is like the archetype of stability, right? And someone that is successful, and like someone that has their life together here. So it's like your presence, or like certain memories that they have with you, sort of reminded them of what it felt like to be supported and to be building something solid with another person. So, like little ordinary moments that you had together, like sharing a meal together, hearing about your day, it's sticking in their mind because it feels like you have encouraged them a lot, right? That those moments were the moments that were making them feel very safe and valued by you here. And they want to be seen that way. So I feel that triggers for them could be anything that is tied to responsibility and also accomplishments here. So with the Pentacles, like it could be their job, it could be their finances, their just home life, their like walking past a place that you used to be sitting together, so just, or even like seeing other people that seem solid in their connections could be triggering to them. Could be that they're hearing a song that reminds them of you, and that like kind of sparks that flash of you here. And definitely there is a lot of romantic nostalgia here, but not just that, it's just safety in general. It's that energy of just what your connection brought into their world here. And it also, like, there is an ego thing here too. Like, it's a sense of pride with this card where they do want to feel at least like they're in control here and that they are very dependable. So whenever life sort of like throws them off balance here, and especially with the Temperance in reverse, yeah, thinking of you might remind them of a time where they felt more grounded and the stability that they could have, but they maybe didn't fully appreciate about you here. So there is, yeah, also like an inconsistent sort of vibe to this. And I feel that they're kind of triggered whenever they manage to accomplish something that's big or like successful for them. And they wish that they could share that with you. And that almost like they do that out of validation, like they want you to see them as successful. And it's like you're lacking, or not you're lacking, like they're lacking you, or they're missing you from being in that support system for them, where you create that sort of comfort for them. And now that they don't have your energy or they don't have access to you anymore, they don't get that feeling of being special or being something like someone that is valuable here. So it feels like it's definitely in their everyday life that they remember you, like every single part of their life, like little comforts, like the little wins that they do. And it's just that now they don't have access to the person that saw them in that light, and saw the good parts of them and reminded them of those parts. So, and now they feel like people don't understand them, they just don't have that support, and they really miss that. And so question number 3. So what do they secretly miss the most about you? So, oh my goodness. Okay, let's see here. Queen of Pentacles. All right. So Queen of Pentacles, that's interesting because we have both the King and the Queen now. So this definitely feels like their masculine energy, and your feminine energy could be that you're the man, they're the woman too. But this is just the energetic archetype there of the genders. But it's very interesting how they're coming up. I don't know. It just makes it more clear because they miss the way that you made life feel really grounded, like where you cared for them. You had this really nurturing, very steady energy that made them feel good, like made them feel warm. So you made them feel nice about themselves here. And yeah, like I feel like you're the person that just valued them and just remember the little details that they told you. You made them feel safe. So it feels like you were the one that was sort of holding this connection together here and giving them that comfort. So yeah, like could be that you just cared about them. Like you were asking them about their day, about their progress, right? You were really thoughtful with them without needing anything back, right? You're praising them. You're really calm. Like you had this presence about you that could ground them when their life felt more hectic. So you just provided them with that emotional security and this love that saw this person, right? Even with their flaws, and you were still there at least to some point until this went down when you guys separated. But they miss that. They miss being seen by you and knowing that you're still there for them. So it tells me that you were the one that took this card of Temperance back together to its original like upright position. Like you were the one creating that balance for them in their life that they might not even have realized that they needed at that time. And now when they're surrounded by their own loneliness and their life and their priorities, and the noise and everything that's going on around them, like those memories of you and of your steadiness here, they just like they stand out to him or to them. It's just there's this longing here for your patience and your own maturity within your emotions that you carry, you know, which are qualities that they might struggle a little bit to embody on their own here. And also there is a little bit of a warning here because it feels like you give a lot, you have a very supportive energy, and it might have been so much and like so abundant that they took it for granted. And like people with really strong egos, they sometimes, you know, feel sort of entitled to that kindness. So while they absolutely miss the comfort and the connection that you provided to them, it doesn't necessarily mean that they've done inner work to, you know, honor and be grateful for that energy. So what they miss is very much real, but whether they're ready to respect you and value what you shared now, like it's another story, you know, entirely here. So there is, yeah, they're quite attached to you, and I feel like in a little bit of an unhealthy way where now they don't feel like they are worthy of much at all without you being there to tell them that they are. So question 4, how are they coping with your absence? So let's see here. Oh, okay, so 5 of Pentacles. We have so many Pentacles today. Wow. Yeah, okay. So 5 of Pentacles, it's a very lonely energy. So checks out with the rest here. It's like, it's a card of feeling a little bit left out, like abandoned. So I feel that now they're just in this energy of not being supported, you know, feeling unsupported. So when it comes to how they're handling this, like they're not handling it well, to be honest. Like it's not good. It's not good. And even if they're projecting a lot of confidence on the outside, like inside, there is this big sense of just emptiness here about this loss that just comes in sometimes, like creeps in. And at least when they are lonely, when they are quiet, you know, not allowing themselves to be distracted by other people, that's when it kicks in here. So it shows me someone that feels like, you know, they're just, they're in the cold, you know, they don't have anything to protect them here. So feels to me too like they are very much aligned with distractions right now. So it could be like work, for example, or maybe like, sorry to say it, but it could be other connections too, just to sort of fill that inner void that you provided to them. But like deep down, there is a part of them that it feels very disconnected here. And at times, like maybe even a little bit rejected by you here. So, and again, like there is some pride here where I feel like they're a little bit too stubborn to admit to themselves that they are hurt. They are hurt by your absence here. So it's the pride thing, right? Like instead of reaching out to you and being vulnerable about it and telling you the truth of how they feel, they keep choosing the harder path of just pretending that everything is fine, which of course is gonna just prolong this feeling of being isolated here. So it's a bad coping mechanism in general. And now it feels like they're just kind of like they're shutting people out and just retreating into this mindset of lack here. And they're sort of thinking like, if I can't have what I really want, then just I don't need anything, right? They could be having these fleeting connections, but they just leave them feeling empty. So they're just like, no, then if it's not this person, then why? And why bother? So it's just not like, it's not true healing that they're going through here. Like it's avoidance. They're just running away from that pain. So I feel like they might appear very confident, and they might appear very like even indifferent to you in this like self-sufficient way. But the truth, like they do feel the loss of your presence here. But it's just that their ego and their fear of vulnerability is sort of in the way, right? And it's keeping them away from like reaching out to you when they could, you know. And that option is still available, but they're just avoiding that altogether because of their pride. So, and just to continue on that, so question 5 is, what holds them back from reaching out to you? So, 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is all about walking away, right? So it's very powerful here. it's not a light in the light sense of walking away either. Like, it's not because, you know, they got promoted to their dream job in a different country and they're gonna travel to whatever, to Spain, and be like there for 6 months and then come back. But it's like, it's to do with this here. And yeah, it's like, it's about leaving something behind, because on some level, like, you believe that there's something else that you need to find or you need to understand about this. So in this context, it tells me that what's holding them back, it's not a lack of feelings for you, because they do have that in their own like complicated way of having that, but it's like they have, yeah, it's unfinished emotional business, you know, elsewhere, and likely also a lot within themselves here. So yeah, I think that they feel that if they reached out to you right now, it would still be very premature. And yeah, like opening the door before they figure out what's on their own path here. So yeah, and it's also the ego thing. Like, they're scared of appearing weak and unsure to you. So, and especially if you have been in a situation with this person before where they have been walking in and out and having this inconsistent energy here, and now they feel like you're kind of onto them and perceiving that as a flaw, and likely you've called that out already. So now they feel like they don't want to put themselves in that situation again where again you were right about them, right? So it's that, right? And it's kind of clashing with this energy here of the King of Pentacles that they kind of want to be. So it's, again, just creating some avoidance issues here where they're not facing this discomfort here. They're not willing to sit with their vulnerability because they feel that there's this possibility of feeling rejected. So they're just convincing themselves that distancing from you is the right thing to do, or at least like the necessary thing to do here. So, and that's the thing that's gonna make you think that they are more mature for actually doing so. But deep down, it's not bringing them peace, right? They feel very heavy about that. So, and yeah, just like they have so much like old wounds, this person. Yeah, it's like they have this fear like that reconnecting, it's gonna bring out those old wounds for them, like reveal patterns to them about themselves that they're not ready to look at. They don't want to do that. They're not ready to address that. So they're just kind of telling themselves that they're protecting you by staying away. But the truth is that they're protecting themselves. Like, they're protecting their own discomfort that they feel about the situation here. So it's like, it's a little bit selfish, right? It's like, they're not indifferent to you. They're not like, but there's definitely some unfinished emotional growth that they need to do here with this fear of vulnerability. So yeah, they have this desire to just maintain this image of strength here, even if it means being alone for now. Yeah, they have a lot to work through, this person. And then question 6 is, if they could see you again, what would their unspoken wish be? So let's see here. Oh, 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands. Yeah, it's an interesting energy. Like, for an unspoken wish, it's like, it's definitely not like a peaceful card. It's like, it's a card of tension. It's a card of competition. So they might be like a person that tests your boundaries a lot, you know, and like, if they were to meet you right now, they would likely try to like prove something to you. And they're, you know, it's not good. It's not good. So they're like, but it's a Wands energy, so there is still a fire element to this card, right? Which is like, there's still a desire for you here. And they do want to feel your energy again, just like come back into that dynamic where there was this like, but it's the thing with the 5 of Wands, they miss the challenging aspects of it, right? So maybe like you did have lots of clashes, but there was passion in those, right? And they liked engaging in that way with you, where they don't want to be vulnerable, but like they still hope to just like reassert themselves and test whether the connection and the chemistry that you have are still alive here. So it's like, doesn't necessarily mean that if they would meet you, they would want to pick a fight with you here, right? Even though it's a 501s, but it is a little bit like of that energy too, right? It's like an energy of teasing, you know, and like this banter thing, but still like that has that flirty undertone. So, but also it has that risk, right, of just slipping into this defensiveness. And especially with someone that is involved in a lot of pride here and that is already bruised and hurt by the situation. So it's the kind of like, they want to meet you, but in that sense, it would be in a way to just step back into that spark that this sort of dynamic activated, right? And almost in a way to redeem themselves and like to kind of win this. So they like feeling that pull or that push pull. And they sort of like being challenged by you because it does something to them, right? It lights them up in a way, but just not in an accountable way, right? Or in a way where they can open up emotionally. So it's that, but it's at the same time, like they just have this wish to engage with you, at least, even if it's in this drama sense here, because it gives them something, like it's thrilling to them, right? It's, yeah, of your energy against their energy. It sort of creates something for them that they like, they think it's hot, right? So it's just, it's not going to be like a romantic meetup, right? But it's going to be a test thing. It's going to be like a push-pull thing here as their own way of like checking the temperature without risking too much of their pride. So it feels to me like almost to test your boundaries here and to see if they still have their hooks on you. That's the type of energy I'm getting. So, you know how kids do it, right? I've talked about this before because I've been in a dynamic like that myself. Because kids, or like teenagers, when they're in love with someone, like in their school, they don't just come up to a person like, let's go out on a date. You know, they don't reveal their feelings. They test it first and they tease because it's the way of doing it safely, where that's how you know that, yeah, this person has boundaries. And if someone else would be teasing this person, they would likely set up those boundaries and be like, why are you being mean to me, right? But if I do it, then they don't do that, which means that they like me more than they like that person. And then you start deducing, like, and calculating, okay, so maybe they like me. Maybe that's why they're allowing me to push them in this way when they don't allow other people to do that. That's the sort of energy. It feels immature. It feels like the playground sort of romance that we've likely all been involved in at some point. It's kind of that. Instead of just being like straightforward and vulnerable with you, they're just sort of poking at you to see if you're going to react. And so that's what they would want to do. And so question 7 is, what is the spiritual or karmic purpose behind this separation here? So let's see here. The star. That's beautiful. Okay, good. So star is a nice shift from what we've seen here today. It's especially like after this tension here, it's a hopeful card, right? It's like a healing energy. So it's gonna be renewal energy. It's like a faith in something bigger than this moment that you're actually in here, that spirit is trying to activate within you. So what you need to know about this is that, like, the separation is a part of a much larger process for you that's meant to just realign both of you guys' lives with something that's more true for the both of you here. So it tells me that you're being guided towards more self-awareness here, and they're being guided towards more humility. So it's like life is just stripping away the layers of ego here, reminding both of you that real connection is not about control, right? And it's not about how you appear, but it's about being authentic and it's about being vulnerable. So this thing, like what's happening here, it's whether you realize it or not, like it's meant to just soften them, right? And just teach them how to approach love in a healthier way that is more from their heart rather than, from their ego. So like it's an incredibly healing card, and it's telling me to just hold your own light and trust in your worth here. So do a lot of work with that, right? Because it's not defined by them. this person and how they show up for you. So it's about remembering that you are part of a way bigger story than this. Like, your path does include happiness and opportunities that are gonna give you that love. And yeah, it's gonna bring you something beautiful. And it's about breaking old cycles. So likely you have this pattern where you do give a little bit too much, right? And you take a lot of shit, right? To be honest, just you tolerate a lot of shit and imbalance in the name of connection and love. So it's telling you to just come back to yourself and come back to hope, right? Just believe in yourself, believe in that you can be somewhere better. You deserve something better and beautiful, right? And even after heartbreak here, you can still reach that place. So it feels very painful to you, this connection, and it feels very confusing to be separated from this. But the star is very reassuring, because Spirit is telling you that there is healing happening here beneath the surface of this connection. So it's like, for both of you, it's gonna be healing, right? Even if the reality in 3D doesn't look that way right now, there is a bigger plan here at work. And it's gonna make you feel better. It's gonna make you feel more whole in yourself, so that you don't attract the same type of imbalanced connections in the future too. And then card 8, or question 8 is, what is the most likely next step or future energy between you? So let's see here. Oh, 9 of Swords. Yeah, you're very brave. Yeah, wow, 9 of Swords. It's so there's so much anxiety. There's like there's just so much like replaying the things that you've said to each other. And this energy of like, what's next, right? And it's just very anxious. Just there's so much emotional processing going on here, like, and also like a mental energy, a mental processing here. So yeah, you're likely to stay in their head for a while here, and they're overthinking this a lot and just second guessing their decisions and their actions towards you. And I do feel that they feel guilty, right? They do feel this guilt and also this fear about what it means to not reach out to you, and what that might bring, how it might make things even worse if they don't, right? So they're like, maybe like drafting messages to you and just deleting those, just like rehearsing what they're gonna tell you, like in conversations that they should be having with you, but then they never send those, and like watching you from far away, just, you know, talking themselves out of contacting you here. So there is a lot of pride here. Also, like, there's so much fear. There's so much fear with this card about rejection. It's really strong here. So, and it's not gonna resolve overnight. And like, for you, this is a reminder for you to not let their silence become a reflection of your worth again, right? Because it's gonna be very easy to spiral into this energy here, where you're questioning yourself and what you did wrong in this connection, so that you can try and heal that way by wondering if you should have been differently, like, or being different in a way of like adapting more, or like, maybe if I should have done this or said this, they would have loved me, and just kind of trying to change yourself to be this person's dream person, rather than changing yourself for yourself, because that's what you deserve, and that's how you heal, right? And that's how you have your self-worth and your self-love. So just be mindful of that, you know, because there's a lot of like what ifs with this card. So just be relying on this hopeful energy here of the star. But definitely, I do feel, unfortunately, that there is still going to be some silence here between you. But like I said, just don't make that about your worth. Don't. It's their thing. They're healing. They're doing their thing, you know, apart from you here. And it's not about you, you know. This is just something that is unresolved here. So it could have literally been anyone, and it would have still have ended up in that same pattern. So you can't heal for them, but you can heal for yourself. And so if you do that and you manage to resolve or dissolve rather this pattern here, that's how you change your attraction point, right? I always talk about this. That's how you stop pulling in this into your field, because your field just simply doesn't resonate with that type of energy anymore here. So it's still gonna be with this person a lot of uncertainty here. and lots of just reflection rather than immediate action. So, and it's what you need. Like, it is what you need. Sometimes we need to be in that more quiet, like lonely space to process and heal, right? And that's what's going to make more authentic decisions take shape. So whether or not they take a step towards you soon, this tells me that, yeah, like if it brings you some comfort to know that they're not in a good place. Like they do have a conscience here, and it is very much active, like it's very much alive. They're not indifferent to you, even if their actions are suggesting otherwise. So the most likely next step, it's not going to be big. It's not going to be a movement towards you in like a dramatic sense, but it's a lot of just heavy thinking here. And these like, yeah, shifts in perspective that are going to set the stage for whatever's going to come next for you guys. But definitely they're up at night thinking about this, and it's not coming from a good energy here. So let's bring out your oracle cards here. So I'm gonna take these out, and then we're gonna put them all. Let's put them all down, and then reveal your affirmation card here. So let's see. Ooh, narcissist. Yeah. Okay. And then we have give it time, and then we have caution. So yeah. Okay. All right. This is interesting. I'm not gonna say that this person is a narcissist. I cannot do that. Doesn't mean that they are a textbook narcissist. It's just a card that fell out, right? Doesn't have to be like in the clinical sense. But there is, like, when it happened, like when this fell out, like there is at least Spirit's way of saying that there's a pattern here of ego and just being very self-centered, and that's kind of shaping how they've handled this connection here. So it is a nudge to you to just protect your energy from this person. So even if they miss you a lot here, and even if you miss them, as we have been seeing here in the spread, like their own pride and their own self-image has been their priority here, instead of just being honest with you. So yeah, like I said, I can't diagnose anyone, especially like not knowing the person, but it's be mindful of that energy, because there is ego. And then we have give it time. So everything in divine timing, let things flow. So it's the star, it's the same energy here. Like it's all about healing. It's all about getting that clarity, you know, and the fact that it's not going to just arrive, right? Like on your schedule or on their schedule here, but it's going to be a slower process. So there's going to be a bigger sort of rhythm here that you have to learn how to trust. So trying to force a resolution with this connection and trying to rush it to grow somewhere, like it's just going to drain you here. That's what I'm getting from it here. And then we have caution here. So caution. Yeah, okay, so find out more information and don't overwork yourself. So again, this is a warning card. And yeah, it's telling me that if this person approaches you, like if they come back into your life, if they contact you, you know, and try to hook up, just take things slow. Even if you're tempted, just take things slow. And don't assume that their longing for you is going to be the same thing as them being healed and ready for a healthier connection. So just make sure that their actions are actually lining up with their words, right? And are actually lining up with respect for you, showing that they've grown, not that they're just saying that they did. So let's see what your affirmation here is. All right, so we have, my friendships support me, nourish me, and inspire me. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So Spirit is reminding you that your well-being is not dependent on this person's choices. So just lean in on your friends here and your groups, right? So you're gonna have people around you that are uplifting, that aren't selfish. And so just be in those connections that are giving you genuine support. And that's what's gonna be sustaining you while your life is getting sorted out and sorting out the timing of the situation here. So be with the people that love you and appreciate you and like give you lots of respect, because you do deserve that respect. So yeah. So interesting one today. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I just want to say, yeah, it definitely doesn't mean that they don't miss you, this reading, right? They absolutely do. They do. But they do have a lot of just unfinished business here. And they have to do a lot of growing up, right? Maturing. So just hold your boundaries here and just surround yourself with people that have done the work, right? And that can show up for you and are ready for that. Because the universe is working behind the scenes for you here. So yeah. Yeah, just take care of yourself. And that was the card actually. So please take care of yourself. So that's beautiful. That's definitely your message. Definitely your message. So that wraps up your Did I Secretly Miss Your reading, guys? Pile 1. Wow. So I usually say I hope that this reading resonated. This time it's a harder reading, so I'm not going to say that just to be respectful. But if it did, and if it brought up some memories about your connection, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts. So just drop a comment below and let me know which part, resonated the most here. And if you found this helpful, if you found this comforting in any way, just please give this video a like because it really helps my channel grow. And also it tells YouTube that these messages are reaching the people that actually need them. So make sure to do that. And if you're new here and you don't want to miss the next pick a card reading or the next weekly forecast, just hit subscribe and also tap the little bell icon so that you're always in on the loop. So yeah. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm sending you so much love and so much encouragement as you move forward in your journey here. And I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So if you chose this little image here, abstract image of these two faces here, or perhaps if you chose this rose quartz crystal over here, then this is the reading for you that hopefully will resonate. And this reading is all about, do they secretly miss you? So we're going to be talking a little bit about what's going on beneath the surface of your person. And I'm going to just separate the cards a little bit here. These are pre-shuffled. These are the oracle cards that we're just going to put to the side for your final message. And I'm going to lay out the 8 cards here for the 8 different questions that we're going to be asking today. So while I do this, perhaps you want to take a deep breath and just settle in, get comfy, get a little drink, a little hot tea or hot chocolate, and just make yourself a little bit more clear so that you can absorb any messages that are here for you today. And yeah, normally it does help you connect a little bit better with the reading. So just do that, just center yourself. And speaking of center, let me just center the cards because I just looked in the viewfinder and they looked a little bit wonky. I think that's better. And yeah, let's just both let our intuitions guide us in this, because Spirit has a way of slipping in the exact message that you're meant to hear in the moment that you're watching. So let's just find out what's hidden beneath the silence of your person here, and what's the energy that's connecting the both of you right now. So I'm going to start from the top and we're going to go in this way here. So for question number 1 is this card here. And the question is, what is their current emotional energy towards you? So let's reveal the card. Ooh, Ace of Wands. Okay, wow. All right, so I'm just like, why I'm laughing because like this is obviously not a reading for children, but you never know with YouTube who's watching. So I don't want to make these like 18 plus, but so I'm very mindful of how I speak and how I say things. But with that being said, you know what I mean when I say this, because yeah, that's the card. That's the card. So it's a good start. Like we're off to a good start here. It's very passionate, this card. It's this very raw, like the Wands energy is like this creative energy, right? It's like sacral chakra energy. So when it comes to their feelings towards you, like there's no denying that there's lots of attraction there. There's so much attraction. And even if they're distant right now, like that attraction and that curiosity, it's still there. Like it's still going on. So How can I say? You know what I mean, right? Like there's something that happens to them when they think about you. Like you don't just make their heart race, you know. There's more than that little spark there. So, and I feel that they feel very inspired by you. You know, they have a lot of desire for you, and yeah, it's not just fleeting. It's not like a passing thought. Like they actually, you know, they do take some time thinking about you. They do that. So wow, like I feel that like you have probably like a lot of good memories with them. Like you've made them laugh, you've inspired them, you know, and they think about those moments with you. And your voice, your laughter, like music you listen to together, places that you shared, you know, and all of those little things just like sort of reignite that spark almost instantly for them here. But also like it's a very thrilling card, but there is the element of like it's a fleeting energy, right? So just like the real deal, like it's fleeting. So like an analogy for this that is not sexual would be that, you know, like when you light a match, how sometimes it does turn into a real fire, right? It becomes like the steady flame. And sometimes like nothing happens, like it just fizzles out when there's nothing really to feed that, or it's a bad match. So this like I'm not saying that this is a bad match, but like there's definitely like a little bit of an element of like unsteadiness to this, where it's a little bit like almost like a wave of passion that they'll feel, and they'll get really excited thinking about you. But like they just haven't figured out what to do with those feelings yet. So that's making them feel a little bit impatient here, like where sometimes they might feel very impulsive. They feel like stirred up and they just want to act from their temptation without thinking things through. So it's probably like that you are in a little bit of like a hot and cold sort of dynamic, you know. And that explains why, because their energy towards you, like it is very fiery, right? It is very magnetic in its existence, its presence, right? But it's just hasn't really fully matured. It's still an ace. So there's like not really a plan here towards any sort of commitment here. So it might be a situationship, like it might be friends with benefits, that sort of connection that you have that is mostly like sexual, but it's just I don't see that seriousness or that vibe of like with this card, you know. It's just, but definitely, yeah, there's definitely a spark when they're thinking about you. Like you do something for them, and it's not just sexual. I feel like you do light something up in their emotional world too, but it is mainly suggesting that they find you very hot. Like they do, they find you very attractive. So that's that. So let's just see if we can get more information and get into question 2. And question 2 is, what triggers their memories of you? So let's see here. Ooh, okay. That's a very different energy. So Ten of Cups is very good. Like Ten of Cups is really positive. It's a good card for love ratings. So it's like a very dreamy energy, right? And Ten of Cups is like, I always say like it's emotional fulfillment. So it's like building a family together. It's sharing happiness together, sharing memories. It's like that fairy tale sort of thing, like the happily ever after thing. So it feels like what like triggers their memories is just, it's not just attraction, that's for sure. Not just that. So it's more like it's a feeling of almost like a completeness that you provide for them, you know, and they probably once had with you here. So, or even imagined having with you if it was a situationship. So they might be reminded of you in like actually really ordinary, like normal moments, but like beautiful moments that like seeing people together, like families together, like laughing, sitting in a park, you know, just like romantic thing, like watching the sunset, those settings. I'm getting a sense to say Libra, so it could be that. It could be a person that is more romantic. So definitely could be a Libra energy here. Just like anything to do with beauty, anything to do with like Venus, right? Like hearing a beautiful song, you know, that makes them think about nights you've spent together, cozy nights, not just sexual nights, you know. But you just shared, you know, you shared with each other, shared laughter, shared memories, talked, you know, connected. And these like really simple things that we do like on a day-to-day are like happy triggers that just bring them right back to the emotions that they felt when they were connected with you and you were part of their lives here. So yeah, it's a very like, it's also like an idealistic card, right? The Sun of Cups. So it's, even if the things weren't perfect all the time between you, which I don't believe, otherwise likely you wouldn't be here watching this, you wouldn't be separated. There is a part of them that links you to this dream of what this could mean, like what this real happiness could look like. So having a partnership, having intimacy that isn't just physical, but like emotional, right? Like feeling the sense of belonging with you, like having visions together. And it sort of feels a little bit bittersweet to them almost, you know, where they're replaying those good parts in their mind. And they feel a pain here. And this longing that they feel for what could have been if things would have worked out. So it tells me that your energy definitely represents emotional safety for them. And they're triggered by seeing other people happy here. Like other couples, you know, like celebrating, having milestones together, like weddings, you know, this is all about that too, like family gatherings. So any sort of moment that highlights that love and highlights connection, like those scenes can make them really wonder if they've lost something that is rare and that they won't be able to find again elsewhere, which is like, even in movies, I'm getting that too. It doesn't have to be just like walking in the park and seeing a family having a picnic, but like watching a movie and they see this couple that is like, oh my God, they have such a beautiful relationship. Like, I wonder if I lost the access to that. So the memories of you aren't tied to a lot of regret here. That's what I'm sensing. Like, there could have been some conflict, but they're mainly tied to happiness here and to a hope that, like, in some different timeline, the two of you could have built that together. So that's why, like, it's always interesting when I do these readings, because sometimes, I don't remember when I lay these out. Like, I pulled all the 3 piles and I don't remember the cards, but I'm wondering, like, what are you doing here? I always ask the question because it feels like a good connection, right? It feels like a good, happy, stable connection. There's lots of attraction here. So I'm like, something is unstable, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here watching this, wondering what they're thinking. So yeah, so we're gonna see. So let's see. So question 3 is, what do they secretly miss the most about you? So let's see that card here. Oh, that makes sense. All right, that's it. Asking shall receive. So that's the instability. So 5 of Swords. Okay. All right. So that's interesting too, because I just did the pile 1 and we got the 5 of Wands there. And I do feel that it's a different energy this time. Normally I do say that, like, maybe check out that pile. I feel that the energies here are quite different. There might be some elements that like overlap, but it is different here. But this card here reminds me of that reading because it's a very interesting energy to miss, right? So 5 of Swords is conflict, right? It's tension. And it's that energy of like letting your ego sort of like run the show and your pride. So, and it's also lots of intensity here. So there's like this emotional friction that only exists actually when 2 people like really actually matter to each other. So they don't just miss the good times here with you, but they miss this, like they miss the instability. They miss the moments where, I don't know, like the push-pull thing that you might have had. You know, like I feel that you just sort of didn't let things slide. You know, you weren't in a place, or you aren't the type of person to just play along with things to keep the peace, but you called them out, right? You actually made them think, and that in turn made them feel something for you. So even if it frustrated them at the time, that edge of you and that honesty that you could give in these confrontations here, like it did something for them. Like it woke them up more than a relationship that would have been just like safe, right? Like quiet and safe, where there's nothing, there's no exchange of conflict, there's no like, you know, everybody thinks exactly the same and there's no challenging aspect to it. That connection might not do that for them, but with you, it did. And that's the difference. So with the first reading I was doing, we were the 5 of Wands. So that's more like I felt a little bit more toxic. It's more like, it's more passionate, right? It could be playful, it's teasing, it's like, yeah, calling out each other's bullshit, and then like going on and having sex and then fixing it, makeup sex. It's that type of energy. With this, it feels more mental, right? It feels more like maybe you were the more intelligent person in this connection, and you taught them a lot of things through challenging them. Maybe you called them out, you just like, I'm not saying made them feel stupid, but like in a sense, that's the energy here, where you made their mind expand quite a bit in a way that not a lot of people do. You taught them new things, but also through this conflict here. And maybe you had different political opinions. You were just like in very different places in life when you met, and you made them sort of understand your perspective through perhaps confrontation here, but in a sense, in a way that did expand them, that did like refine their soul, which is another significant to why this connection went down, like why it happened. Not went down in the sense of ending, but went down in the sense of like why you guys got along at some point. And yeah, but yeah, there's definitely a hint of ego here. So I just gotta say it with this card. So like, is there is a push-pull thing here. And yeah, I feel that it's like you have a way of just like also matching their energy in a sense. It's not just conflict, but there is ego there. I think you just hold your ground really well, and that can get a little bit uncomfortable to their ego. So, but also that's what kept things very passionate and very much alive. So part of them, like they're very split here. So part of them misses that and feels that that's what's activating the spark here. And it only comes out when someone is willing to just like go deeper with them and actually confront them a little bit, instead of just like, yeah, you're always right, and give them those challenges, rather than just being very like on the surface, like shallow. And I think you did that for them. So they've learned some lessons with you here, and this card is all about telling you that missing the intensity, doesn't always mean that they've processed it in a healthy way. So they might be a little bit romanticizing moments that were actually about conflict between you and miscommunication. And like saying, hey, it's just charm, it's just the way that we talk to each other. But in reality, that was a little bit toxic. And they're now at this point romanticizing that as like, oh, but that wasn't even a fight. That was just us learning from each other. But I think it just kind of built up over time and became something worse than it was initially here, which is perhaps what led you up to this split. And yeah, it's just, yeah, I feel this is why Spirit might be like nudging you to stay aware of how this pride, like unresolved wounds, can color this person's longing for you. Because while they miss you and they do miss your connection, like what they miss the most is that fiery part of the dynamic and the way that you brought in those new things into the world by refusing to shrink yourself to them, to please them here. And there is a little bit of toxic to that. So, that's why I'm saying that. So just be mindful of that. And then we have question number 4. So how are they coping with your absence? So let's see. Number 4. Oh, okay. The Sun. Fascinating. Fascinating energy to show up in this position. Okay. All right. The Sun, it's bright, right? It's very like outwardly optimistic as a card. It's a very happy card. It's vitality, it's confidence, right? So it tells me that on the surface, they're coping by projecting positivity here. So to the outside world, like it probably looks like they're thriving and they're just having fun with their friends, laughing with them, just like posting things online that makes them look really happy in their updates. Just like getting into new hobbies, getting into adventures, maybe traveling. Just if you would see this person, it would look like they were having a good time. So that's why I'm confused. Because like with this here, with the surrounding cards, like this to me almost feels like a performance. It's like the sun itself is not a fake energy, right? But it shows me almost as like it's a coping mechanism where they're leaning so hard into this optimism as a way of keeping pain under control. So it's like they're telling themselves that if they stay busy with this and they just focus on the good stuff, like they won't feel this loss. And it sort of points to distraction here, where they're spending lots of time around people and environments that are gonna boost their ego and make them feel admired. And they're just like, they're like soaking up this attention and this positive feedback just to keep themselves in a high place, right? And keep their spirits high. So, and then at the same time, like it feels like they're in the quiet moments when they're alone, like they're reflecting, and it's an entirely different story. And I'm not saying that they're miserable underneath. I just want to say that I don't feel that they are miserable, but it's more like their coping mechanism is all about this, like light and being really active, right? Rather than just forcing their deeper feelings head on and just like, yeah, having to face those things. So I feel that they're trying to heal through happiness. And yeah, while that can be healthy, like it can also be a way of avoiding like necessary introspection. And like this doesn't mean that they're miserable underneath. Like it's more that their coping mechanism, like it's all about this light and this activity rather than just facing their deeper feelings head on. So they're trying to heal through joy, like feeling that, yeah, distraction. I'm getting that distraction energy here. And like, while happiness, of course, like it can be a healthy, productive way to heal, of course, like having fun. It just feels a little bit to me like that's a way that they're doing to just avoid any sort of necessary introspection that they need to process and go through in order to heal. So from the outside, like it might look a lot like they've moved on and that your absence really hasn't touched them at all. But the sun here is a reminder that like, yeah, this outward happiness doesn't erase the deeper layers of longing and the lessons that they're still being encouraged to face by spirit here. But it's interesting, like it's yeah, very interesting card to see there. Okay, yeah, so let me know in the comments if this resonates, and if you have been noticing this, maybe checking in their social media, and if that's maybe why you're here, that would make perfect sense actually, because maybe you're very hurt and now you're like, how could they move on so quickly? How can they look so unbothered? And that's why you're having these questions. So question number 5. So what holds them back from reaching out to you? So let's see here. 4 of Wands, again, see, so this is the same, like it's a similar energy to the 10 Cups there. It's like, it's, that's also celebration, like that's stability, that's building something that, like a lasting foundation for themselves. Like, so in this position, it tells me that the very seriousness of what they associate with you is actually part of what keeps them away. Because this isn't casual, like this card isn't casual. So they don't see you as something that is just passing as a distraction, like a little fling. Like, and on some level, they know that reaching out could reopen the door to something here that's more significant and like maybe even life-changing. So they're scared of that, like that possibility, like as beautiful as it may be, like it can be very terrifying to someone that isn't sure if they're ready to show up fully for you. And also like it could indicate some pressure, like this is about weddings, you know, it's about moving in together, like families, like bigger commitments. So they might fear that if they step back into your world in a connection, then there's going to be a lot of expectations coming up very quickly, and they don't want to disappoint you, and they don't want to disappoint themselves. Because for someone with like pride issues and like unresolved fear issues, this can make an action feel safer than risking vulnerability here. So yeah, and there's also a sense here that they might be waiting for the perfect moment, you know, like an event, for example, like a sign from the universe, so that they can feel more of a level of like personal stability that they know that they haven't reached yet. And it's just that if they're waiting for this perfection, like it's usually it doesn't arrive, you know, it's just waiting for that. It's gonna be a way for them to just avoid taking responsibility in the end. So like so it's not indifference that's holding them back, you know, it's not that. It's the weight of what they know that this connection represents. So they do sense that if they do step towards you, like it won't be able to be just halfway. Like it can't be a situationship anymore at this point, right? It has to be something more. And right now, like they just not, I don't feel they trust themselves enough to follow through on the level of commitment that they know that your energy deserves here. So they're just staying away because they can't guarantee that it's going to work out this time, even if they wanted to. Like deep down with the Ten of Cups there, they just feel this fear around that and that commitment. So, and I feel that you are a very like sturdy person. I'm getting this for you in this reading. Like I feel that you are like, you can set boundaries, you can't call out bullshit. So it's, you've likely done that in the past, and they know that they can't just manipulate you and step over you in this sense. And now they feel like they have to step up in order for this to work. And they know that they're a little bit flawed, at least they perceive themselves so. So they're just kind of waiting it out to see if something's gonna happen to them that suddenly makes them more perfect for you, like more complete, you know, like in quotations, because it's not real. Like everybody has flaws, but yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so let's see. So question 6, that is, if they could see you again, what would their unspoken wish be? Let's see here. Oh, all right. 3 of Swords. Three of Swords. Okay. Okay, so 3 of Swords is heartbreak, right? It's like wounds that are emotional that haven't really healed yet, which produce a lot of grief for the person. So for their unspoken wish, like it feels that they do want to just mend whatever has been broken between you two, beneath any sort of pride that they're feeling around that, you know, and any sort of distraction that they're doing. They still want to do this. They want to fix this. So that they might wish for a moment of just having a conversation, just sitting down with you, like honestly, and talking, and just like dropping down those guards and those walls, and just sitting there, just acknowledging their pain without blaming you, without letting their ego come into the picture, you know, just like apologizing to you, listening to your side without being defensive, you know, just removing those behaviors that might have just shaped your connection in the past. They want to get rid of that, you know, and they feel a lot of regret too, where they feel like they would love to just be able to undo this hurt, right, and take back what they've said when they've been angry with you, and just like, yeah, they wish that they would have chosen a different path here when things got tense between you two. And even if they don't admit it out loud, this heartbreak, really, it hasn't fully closed for them here. Yeah, it's so interesting. And this is why I feel like in pile 1, right, the energy was not so accountable as a person. I did pick up on guilt there, but it felt like a person that was way more turbulent, right, as an individual. In this case, I do feel that it's more, they do have accountability here, and they do understand what those flaws are and why they act in the way that they do. And this is why the 4 of Wands is there, because that's what they're scared of, that they haven't really been able to heal through those patterns, and it's going to repeat itself. And they've hurt you, so they don't want to do that again. But at the same time, they don't know how to not do that, because it's like so ingrained in them as a person, in their karma. So that's why they're kind of waiting, because they do want to make this good. But at the same time, like they're just like, I don't know if I'm capable of doing that, because in the past, maybe I've always messed it up. So I don't want to keep repeating the same mistake over and over. So yeah, so they do care for you. I mean, they do. And they're scared of hurting you here. and making you feel this heartbreak again. And of course themselves too, because it's not just you feeling that. You're just handling it differently. But yeah. And Three of Swords, like, it can also be outside influences, like triangulation energy that's complicating things for you. So it could be like your friends, it could be your family. So it's not just about their internal conflicts here. And I feel that like this unspoken wish could also be about a desire to just remove and like strip away the things that are there, you know, coming in from the outside in, and letting that affect the connection. If you have people doubting you, or if you have people like maybe not liking you, not liking them, like those influences are kind of shaping this. It could be in some cases. And they just want to kind of shake those energies off so that you both can focus on your own issues here and just do it from a better place. And there's also a caution here, which is like, while they do wish for healing, they might not have the emotional tools to create that for themselves right now. So they do want to reconcile with you, but it's not the same thing as just actually doing the work that is necessary to do in order to make this last. So even though they want to, and like in their heart, they do want to bridge the distance between you, I feel that their actions might not yet be able to match that desire here. So if you felt that, like if you felt this unfinished business energy here and sense that there is some lingering sadness here coming from them, this confirms it, because they do still carry the heartbreak, right? And there's a part of them, like a big part of them, that really wishes to make things right with you here. And so question 7, what is the spiritual or karmic purpose behind this separation here? So let's see, question 7. Okay, Knight of Swords. So yeah, very fast moving, a little bit reckless, like impulsive energy here. So it just it feels like this person, like he or like I'm saying he because it's a he, like the knight, but this person like charges ahead without always considering the consequences, right? So one of the karmic purposes here is to teach both of you about mindful communication and just like intentional action. So for them, this card points to a tendency to just react very quickly here and just like rushing into decisions and words that create tension between you. And they're being asked to just slow down and to temper that passion with a little bit more clarity. And yeah, just like learn that not every emotional surge needs immediate action. So this experience is meant to guide them towards more emotional maturity, where there is accountability to what they say and what they do and their choices here in general. Like there has to be accountability. You can't just say things, right? You can't just do that. You have to be more mindful. So definitely that's the energy that they're dealing with. And for you, and maybe about discernment, you know, because it's like, it's a very mind-based card. It's a card about learning, like investigating, right? So it's knowing when to speak your truth, but also when to pause so that you can just reflect and let the situation sort of unfold naturally here. Because like your voice does matter, right? And your boundaries, of course, does matter. But not every moment of friction here needs a fight. So again, like this goes back here to the Five of Swords with how I'm feeling that you are the most intelligent person in the relationship, and how sometimes I feel that they might feel a little bit stupid around you. Maybe you do have this tendency to be a little bit nitpicky. You are a person that is kind of like always sort of poking at them or them and like judging, you know, their ways of communicating certain things and sharing certain ideas, and it's kind of making them feel like they aren't on your league at this point, like you're a little bit too far ahead of them, which again, with this here, with the Four of Wands here, kind of just affects their self-worth. you know? And just makes them feel, yeah, lower standing than you here. So it's okay for you to think those things, but just be careful. Your advice is to be mindful of how much of those things you actually say out loud, because those could be hurtful here. And just both of you just have to learn how pride and impulsivity can actually like screw up even very nice, like promising connections like this one. So the karmic lesson here is that you both have to have self-awareness in order to grow and just learn how to match this passion here with a desire for wisdom and just patience, having lots of patience. So it's an opportunity for evolution, definitely, this connection. Instead of a punishment, it's that. And even separated, you're still doing that. So the universe is like using this pause right now to sort of recalibrate the both of you so that if your paths cross again, or even with future connections that you might have, you both learn to approach love and communication with grace, right? And with like intention to have healed. And so number 8, let's do the last one. So the next aligned step, what immediate action or mindset shift will bring you closer to living your purpose and now? So let's see. Oh, we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, beautiful. Very heart-centered energy, especially like really good to close with this one. So she's very intuitive, very compassionate, you know. So there is a lot of emotions here, you know, and the future energy between it talks about like it's gonna soften up a little bit, you know, and there could be a shift towards more emotional honesty between you, where yeah, you both are more gentle towards each other here, even if it's maybe like unfolding very slowly. It does point to the possibility of good communication that comes from empathy, like from your heart, right? As this sort of emotional turning point here. So whether or not they take more direct action soon, this tells me that the emotional undercurrents that's going on between you two, like it's not going to go anywhere soon. It's still going to be there. It's still going to remain strong. So there might be like subtle signs of their feelings for you, you know, like if you're still seeing each other, like he's looking at you, they're looking at you, you know, they're doing these like nice gestures towards you. And they're going to be finding these like indirect ways of showing you that they still care, even through social media. Could be that too. So it's asking you to just remain rooted in your own emotional wisdom here and just protect your heart, but still stay open to having compassion, you know, for this person, but also for yourself as you heal and as you still grow. Because even if they don't give out like any sort of like very dramatic or romantic declarations to you, it's going to be about empathy, and it's going to be about you listening to your intuition about what's right for you and having the emotional maturity to do so. So yeah, like down the road, there could be an opportunity for a reconnection here, at least so that you can get some emotional closure from this person. And especially if you both have done some inner healing. But yeah, so that's going to be something that like, it's not rushy. It's not a rushy energy. I feel like it's a slower process here, but definitely something that allows space for emotional clarity and just care. Like genuine care. And that's going to be the thing that guides you in your next steps here. So we're not going to be seeing anything immediate here. It's not going to be that. And so yeah, you could be waiting for a while, but still like it's the emotional thread is still there. It's still going to be alive. And the future energy is very profound and very compassionate here. So this is a beautiful card. So this is your card. Like these are your cards. So I'm going to see here. Okay, oracle messages. And then we're going to do the affirmation card here. So let's put them down. So we do have challenges. Make a decision. Work on inner healing. And then we do have a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. and commitment. So things are getting serious. So let's see here. I'm going to start showing you challenges. All right. So make a decision, work on inner healing. All right, good. So yeah, this connection, like, it hasn't been simple, you know, and there are still wounds here. There are still lessons that both of you are being guided to face. So this is your reminder that it's not a linear process to heal, right? And that growth, sometimes it does come through friction here. So yeah, it shows that. And then we have water sign. So this deck that I pulled these from, and which one is it? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna put the name on the video because I don't have the little casing here on the table. But it does have a lot of random cards. Sometimes these come out and then I just give them out. So it doesn't have to necessarily mean that you are dealing with a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. But of course it could be. You know, it could be someone's moon, someone's sun, someone's rising sign. But what I'm getting from this too is that it's something that is here to just highlight the emotional depth that's running through this connection and the intuition here. Because it's a water energy. So water is all about sensitivity, right? It's about emotions. So it does confirm that beneath the surface, there are very strong feelings here at play for you both. But yeah, of course, could be one of those signs too. And then we have commitment. So things are getting serious. So this is beautiful. I bet you're happy to see this, right? So especially with the 4 wands that we saw earlier, like, there is a recognition here that your energy is representing something meaningful to this person and something more long-term. So even if they've been a little bit hesitant, you know, had their pride and stuff, like, part of their soul does associate you with the possibility for this, like for a deeper, more lasting bond. So yeah, let's see your affirmation card. Okay. All right, so beautiful. I am ready to go big, rise up, and step into my power. Nice. So, okay, this is just Spirit's way of saying that you should be centering you in your own story here. So whatever happens with this person, your growth and your power, like, it's like it shouldn't be depending on their choices here. So you're being called to just step into your own strength, right? And just trust your intuition here so that you can move forward with more confidence, you know, whether that leads back to this person or towards an entirely new chapter for you and an entirely new connection. So just remember this. This is going to be your affirmation for dealing with the situation here. So yeah, I mean, let's see. They do miss you. That's the short answer. If you like did the thing where you went all the way to the end to see that, they do miss you for sure. And their emotions here are very deep, but also like they're very complex. So Spirit is telling you that your power is not about waiting here. It's not about waiting for them. So just let your feelings be what they are, but also stay anchored in your light and in your readiness for the life that you're building for yourself. But it's a beautiful reading, guys. It's a beautiful reading. So good choice, pal, too. And this wraps up your reading. So, I mean, what can we say? I really hope this message resonated with you guys. I really hope that it brought some clarity to how you're feeling. And I'd love to hear from you. So just drop a comment below and let me know which part or which card spoke to you the most. And yeah, because like reading your reflections are always awesome. I love doing that. I reply to every comment. And if this reading offered you any insight or any comfort, please make sure to give the video a like because it helps the channel grow and it helps YouTube just know that these messages are reaching out to the right people that need them. And also, if you're new here and you want to catch the next pick a card reading or the next weekly forecast, then just go ahead and hit subscribe and just tap the little bell so that you don't miss anything. And thank you so much for spending this time with me today. And I'm sending you lots of love and lots of courage as you step into your power and you create your life that you're meant to be living. And I'll see you in the next reading. Okay, bye. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading for Do They Secretly Miss You? So, if you chose this little image here with the flowers, or perhaps if you chose this amethyst crystal here, then this is your pile. I'm gonna put these to the side, and we're gonna also separate the tarot cards from the oracle cards here because we're gonna be doing them at the end here. So let's get to it. 8 cards representing 8 different questions, no spoilers. And while I lay them out, I'm gonna ask you guys to just take a deep breath, maybe get a little something to drink, get cozy, and just, settle into yourself, center yourself so that you can tune into your intuition and receive the messages that are for you with this reading here. All right, so let's see. That was kind of good. I didn't check the viewfinder, but I think that's good. All right, so let's get right to it. All right, and the question number 1 is, what is their current emotional energy towards you? So it's this first card here. We're gonna do them in this order. So let's take this one here. The Hermit. Okay. All right. The Hermit. Very inward. Like they're contemplating something with this one here. It's like, yeah, wow. This person, like, I don't feel like they're distracting themselves. Like, they're not looking for outside validation right now, but rather they're going within. Like, they're turning inward to search for those answers themselves without any outside influence here. So it tells me that your connection, and maybe even the separation that happened here, it did stir something deep for them. And rather than just rushing towards some action here and expressing their feelings outwardly, they're in this phase of reflection, This could be that they're replaying conversations that happen, like moments that you share together. And they're not acting impulsively at all. Like, they're not reaching out. I feel like this is definitely, you guys are not communicating right now. And they're sort of questioning their choices here and just analyzing everything that has happened between you, but doing so privately, in their own thoughts. So not indifferent to you. They're not indifferent to you, but it points to depth, right? So Hermit shows up when someone really needs to step back and really look at their life direction. It's just, what are their values? How have their past experience shaped them, including you? So they might be asking themselves big questions right now on what they truly want here, if they repeated a specific pattern from the past, if they're ready for, any type of connection right now, or if they need to heal something first, So there is a sense of distance here with this card. There is a sense of distance. I do feel that it's not just emotional, it's a physical distance here. And I feel that they've pulled back from you. It's, because they feel a lot for you rather than not feeling anything here. And now they just need some time to sort it out and sort through it. And so Hermit, this is a different deck. So she's, oh my goodness, she's sitting there chilling with her little laptop. The original Hermit in the Rider-Waite-Smith is it's a lonely sort of traveler energy. And it's just they're just searching. It's a searching energy. Oh, okay, so this is what she's doing. Okay, she's probably on Google or something here. But they're searching for their own truth. And they're having this little lantern with them. So I feel like that's you. You're that light. You're the thing that's illuminating their path here, even at a distance. So their current emotional energy towards you is very quiet. It's a very thoughtful energy, where they're processing this alone, and they're in this sort of soul searching phase of their life here. So it's not gonna be anything dramatic or anything that brings in any immediate movement here. But it does show that you've definitely left an imprint for them that they can't ignore. So now they're having to work through that. And so we have question number 2. So what triggers their memories of you? Let's see what that is. Okay, so 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, okay, 3 of Pentacles. I'm just saying, it could be a colleague of yours, could be someone that you've worked with. But it is a card, yeah, it's like teamwork, right? It's like team building and building something together, like collaborating and something like that. So it feels like it's moments that you worked side by side, you know. It doesn't have to be literally colleagues, could be for some, but like where you guys built something together and just supported each other in a shared effort here. And likely it's more like a literal energy here, where you had projects together, you know, you built different creative things together. And it could also be symbolic, you know, like times where you offered them guidance, you encouraged them when they were working towards something that was more like their goals here. And yeah, it feels like they think about you, like even about like when they're hearing someone else use a phrase that you used to say, or like an expression that you used to say, and they're like watching people interact, and that's reminding them of you, when, especially when they're seeing people collaborating, that's going to be something that's going to pull them back into the memories of you, you know. Like I have this connection just recently that I lost, and he used to always say that I use the word baseline all the time, which I do. I always say baseline when I'm describing things, like how they are when they are just regular or normal, you know, that's baseline energy. And so he would make fun of me because I use baseline. And now I'm always thinking about that, because I do hear people say baseline. It's not the most uncommon word. And I'm always wondering, I wonder if he thinks of me whenever someone says baseline and he hears that, because he associates that word so much with me. So you probably have a word like that as well with this person, that when they hear that word, they're like, they immediately think about you. And also it's mutual respect, this card. And it's like recognition of skills. So I feel that they're reminded of you when they see someone that's very competent and like very, very steady in their energy, you know. And those are qualities that you embodied in their eyes, and this like willingness that you have to show up, right? So it feels like it's a connection based on like, or at least the memories of the connections are based on how your strengths complemented this person's strengths, and how your energy fit into the bigger picture of their world here. And it tells me that they miss this sort of sense of partnership and growth that you represented to them. So like when they're getting to see progress, you know, and seeing their plans taking shape, that's gonna bring them nostalgia, you know. Or even like places where you used to share ideas together, like that's gonna bring out some nostalgia. So they definitely miss dynamics of building something meaningful with someone that they trusted and that they really admired here. So I feel it's more of that than like anything more like a romantic or a passionate thing, which is why I'm sensing that this could be a colleague. This could be someone that used to work in your department, and they were transferred, they left, they moved to a different country, you know, and it's just that they really miss that. They really miss collaborating with you. And I feel that you guys work good together. You're good teammates. You're like you tag team, you know. So it's not dramatic. I'm not sensing that, the memories, but like it's like small, like practical memories that are still very powerful, because you do have a beautiful foundation that you once like laid together here. And so question number 3 is, what do they secretly miss the most about you? So let's see here. Page of Pentacles. All right, so double Pentacles so far. Okay, so again, it could be work. It's this is a different energy though. Like it's a very fresh energy. It's like a very hopeful, like almost like a student energy, right? So it's someone that's willing to learn and willing to invest in themselves and in learning things. So I feel that what they miss the most about you is the feeling of possibility that you brought into their lives, and the sense that with you, things could grow into something meaningful here. And also they miss your curiosity and the way that you used to encourage them, like in very like small, like thoughtful ways where you showed up for them. So yeah, like I think you saw their potential. You saw their potential and just inspired them to think about their own future differently here. And I feel that you had a lot of belief in them, right? And that in turn inspired them and sparked their own self-belief here. So it feels like also it's a page, so it's like a beginning, right? So I do feel that they missed the beginning energy of your connection. So, you know, like when you just met and that energy that happened when everything felt very new and felt very exciting. And like in this sense of the pages, I was also like grounded. It felt grounded. There's no pressure, like no pressure. It's just passion, right? But also very solid. Something that was promising, you know. And yeah, like they're looking back and just realizing that they underestimated how nice that was. Like how precious it was to be existing in those early, like simple moments with you. And at the same time, like the Page of Pentacles, like it does have a little like an undertone of immaturity here. So there is an awareness that they might not have been like really fully ready to invest when you first offer your energy. So yeah. So they miss you. They do miss you. And they miss the way that your presence made them feel very expansive and like full of opportunities. And they just wish that they would have appreciated that more. So they don't just miss you as a person. They miss everything how you made them feel about themselves. And so question 4, how are they coping with your absence? So let's see, pile 3. All right, so Ace of Pentacles. There's so many pentacles in these readings today. It's crazy. So again, fresh like beginner energy, like also very practical as pentacles. So when it comes to coping, I feel that they're sort of like throwing themselves into new beginnings. But when it comes to like the material world here, so it could be career opportunities, could be that even, like I said, could be that they traveled abroad, could be that they got offered a position in a different place and they had to travel for that. And now they're using that as a distraction. But there is definitely a new start energy here. And an energy that is to do with likely something career, like financial stability, right? Something that gives them a sense of progress and control here. So, you know, they're not just doing this where they're just sitting still here with their feelings, but they're channeling their energy into building something here that is tangible here. And that's how they're going to feel secure. So I feel that they have started a new job here. Or at least like taken on extra work, maybe something different. Like they're learning something different within their job. And then they're setting goals around money, maybe like long-term security. And that's their way of creating a foundation that's going to be distracting them from this void that they're feeling emotionally here. And that's their own emotional self-protection at play. So by focusing on this and focusing on the practical matters, they don't have to fully face the vulnerability or the uncertainty of their feelings for you. And now I think they're telling themselves that if they just focus on stability and they focus on success, then everything else is going to fall into place like later. But it's like they haven't forgotten you. Like it's still there, you know. But they're coping by grounding themselves in the things that they actually can control. And now like it means that beneath that practical front, your absence, like it has planted the seed of growth in them. And on some level, they're aware that your connection changed their outlook on what's really valuable here. So I feel that for you, looking at this person, it just kind of feels like they've forgotten about you. But no, like they're just coping by grounding themselves in those things, right? Like they haven't forgotten you. They haven't done that. They're just making themselves look very busy, right? And that looks like they've been moving on, but they're just using those lessons and using the emotions that are tied up to you as this motivation to create something like a stronger foundation for their future here. And for question 5, so what holds them back from reaching out to you? Let's see here. We have the, oh my God, we have the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so 4 Pentacles. Like, I mean, the first reading I did too for pile 1 was just all Pentacles as well, so it's crazy. So it could be like, you guys could be dealing with lots of colleagues here. Okay, so 2 of Pentacles, another different Pentacles energy. It's all about juggling priorities and trying to maintain balance when things are feeling very overwhelming. So it feels like they are managing a lot of different areas of stress in their own emotions, of course, due to this, but also work, maybe like family things, maybe their finances here, and yeah, just their own emotional well-being. So they're sort of like not sure about how to integrate like the weight of reconnecting with you into that mix. So reaching out to you might feel like, just like, say like they're juggling in this card, the original card. So it kind of feels like when you're juggling and like there's a new ball all the time, and then like reconnecting with you would just be an additional ball to juggle, right? And they don't have the capacity to do that without dropping all the balls, sort of. That's the energy. So then they're gonna just struggle a lot to be able to do that, so they can't. And there's also an element of indecision here. So I feel like they are going a lot back and forth in their mind and imagining what would happen, right, if they did contact you rather than just stay silent. So they are in this sort of paralysis of just not enough clarity to take any action because they're thinking about too much right now. They're just overwhelmed right now. So, and like on a deeper level, it does feel like there is a little bit of avoidance there. It's being disguised as business, but there is a little bit of avoidance. So I think they're telling themselves that they are a little bit too caught up in a lot of things and that now is not the right time. But I think that underneath the surface is not just that. Like, there is a fear of vulnerability here and this uncertainty about whether they can meet the emotional expectations that reconnecting might bring for them and that they have to face. Oh my God, I just got a deja vu. That's interesting. I've never gotten a deja vu in my readings. All right, so oh, so interesting. Okay, so I mean, that was a little bit distracting, but yeah, like they're hesitating, like their silence. Like, don't make that to be a reflection of your worth. Just remember that, right? It's about their own struggle to balance their life with their feelings here. So until they feel steadier, they're gonna keep postponing things and postponing their actions, right? Even if they do want connection, like, yeah, right now, they're gonna say it's not the right time. That's the thing. And question 6, so if they could see you again, what would their unspoken wish be? So let's see here. We have another pentacle. Surprise. Are we gonna have all pentacles today? That's crazy. We have the Hermit. The Hermit doesn't count. This is a major arcana. Like, all the minors are just pentacles. It's crazy. Okay, so very empowering energy. It's independence, right? It's self-sufficiency. So it feels like their unspoken wish, if they could see you again. Like, it's twofold, right? It's one part is admiration for the strength and the, yeah, this confidence that you embody. And also there's this longing to be seen as someone that is worthy of being there, standing beside you in this. So I feel that they want to, they want to be able to show up as someone that's your equal here. Like someone that is accomplished and stable, right? But they don't have the confidence, like they're lacking that part. So they feel that, yeah, I feel that they feel a lot of insecurities and just imbalances that it's been there before, like before you came. It's stuck in their energy here. So yeah, they do see you as someone that doesn't really need anyone to complete them. And it kind of intimidates them. Even though it is inspiring, it does intimidate them. So they do like that energy that you radiate, you know, this, how you deal with pressure, how you feel independent, you know. And doesn't really matter what kind of circumstances you are in. It's like that's the energy that you show up with, even when things are really complicated. So they might wish for a moment where they could be sharing space with you again, you know, and to be doing so out of respect for what you've built within yourself rather than neediness. But right now I feel that there is more of a neediness energy here, but they have to work with their self-worth here. I mean, they are lacking some confidence. I'm getting this. And yeah, like on another layer, this card is that I think they want something that feels a little bit healthier, like where there are two like whole individuals coming together rather than one, like them, that is leaning a little bit too heavily on you. So I feel that they do want to come back into your life, but only if they're able to match your strength and the life that you've created for yourself. So while they might miss the closeness that you shared, what they really want like is a chance to meet you again on more like a level ground, you know, where there is, or both people admire each other and like both people respect each other, and that's how you create this equality here between you. And for question 7, so what is the spiritual or karmic purpose behind this separation? So question 7, okay, we have the Hanged Man. Okay, so that's not a pentacle, but it's a major arcana. Okay, so very much connected to the Hermit there too. Hanged Man, okay, so very transformative card. It's like surrender, it's taking a break, it's profound, it's just, yeah, like pausing long enough to see things from a different perspective. So this separation here is like, it's so that both of you can grow in ways that you couldn't have grown while you were still entangled in the same old patterns. So for them, it feels like they're being asked to let go of control here and just ego habits that have been keeping them stuck, you know, and they're learning patience and they're learning the ability to see love and see connection from a new, like more humble angle. And also just about releasing the need to just force outcomes and instead just allowing insight to happen through silence here, which I feel is very important why the Hermit is here, because that's the lesson that they are integrating right now, like as we speak. And for you, it's all a reminder that waiting and like stepping back, it's just like, it's a sacred act. It's something that you need to do rather than a weakness. So it's going to be an opportunity to see your own worth outside of this person's validation and to look through the lessons that this connection is mirroring back to you. And it tells me that both of you need this lesson together, right? Where you both need this distance to just shift your perspectives on love and commitment here. So without this pause, you might have continued down a path that just wasn't serving either of your highest good. So the karmic purpose is just like growth through perspective. And the space is just reshaping how you both see yourselves and each other. And like what a healthy connection that is balanced should look like. So that when the timing is right, you're both going to be able to just approach love with a better set of circumstances, you know, and with more clarity. So yeah, so then we have question 8. What is the most likely next step or future energy between you? Pile 3, the last card. Oh my goodness, let's see. 8 of Wands. All right. Why I'm excited is because it's not Pentacles. There's nothing wrong with Pentacles, but I was hoping for the last card to be something other than Pentacles. Okay, so 8 of Wands, that's encouraging. That's beautiful. A very good note to end on. So momentum, right? So this is the thing, like this is, wow, quite the opposite of the Hangman. Like it's all about swift communication. It's about things just moving forward very quickly after a period of more stillness here. So it tells me that after all this introspection that's going on here with the Hermit and the Hangman, it's like when the timing aligns, things are going to pick up very quickly between you. So it doesn't have to mean that it's happening exactly now in this moment because you're still here processing. Like, it's not going to be like a dramatic reunion that happens tomorrow, but when this happens, it's going to happen fast, right? So, and then like that, I mean, I was gonna say there's a meme, like the dam breaking and the water just comes out. So that's the energy here when the dam just breaks and there's conversations just flowing very easily, where you can be clearing up any like past misunderstandings, you know, so that the circumstances are going to be shifting for you guys in a way that's going to bring you back into contact here. And you're going to be having lots of clarity here. So you might be receiving messages, you might be receiving news, you know, any sort of like unexpected sign that it's going to change the dynamic here. So it's going to be all about directness. It's going to be progress. So when they're ready, they might come forward without hesitating here. And so, yeah, like beautiful reading. Wow, so exciting, right? It's everything here is like, it feels very stagnant for you right now, but it's just preparing you for this. This is going to be forward motion here. So when it happens, it's going to unfold very quickly and really smooth, you know, way smoother than you expect here. So very good card. All right, so that's it, right? Let's close it off with your oracle cards here before we do the affirmation card. So let's see here. Okay, we have no. Don't be scared. I'm gonna zoom in. It has a nicer message under. We have moving, and we have distance. All right. Okay, interesting. So it doesn't just say no. Like, no, it's not supposed to happen. It says no. It's not the right time. Wow. So perfect. Yeah, it's exactly what we saw here, both with the hangman and the hermit here, because it's just saying that you need this pause right now, right? It's not that this person is rejecting you. It's like literally, it's just necessary. Like, it's divine timing. So right now, both of you are meant to be growing separately before anything can move forward in a healthier way here. And then we have moving. We have 2 long distance card here. So moving, change your residence, moving in with your partner. So for some of you, this could point to literal physical changes. Like I said, like it could be that this person got promoted to a job in a different city, a different country, you know. One or both of you might be relocating and just reshaping your living situation here. And on a symbolic level, it's about movement and transition, right? So both of you are shifting into new phases of your life, which is going to ultimately influence the dynamic between you. And then we have distance. So it says you and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. So this card is an acknowledgement of what you're feeling here, which is that this gap that's happening between you is real, but also that this distance is, in this case, a very sacred thing that's happening. And this space is the thing it's the room where this self-awareness can be born here, and where you both can heal. So let's scoot them over and let's show your little affirmation card here. So your affirmation is, the difficult relationships in my life are the perfect mirror for me to look more closely at my own behavior. All right, so perfect. Right, so Spirit is reminding you that this connection is a mirror. You know, it's not just this person that's growing, it's you too. Both of you are growing from this. You both are mirroring each other. So the challenges here are going to be opportunities for both of you to just self-discover, right? And learn to have compassion for each other, for yourself and for other people. And yeah, so it just feels that they do think about you, this whole reading, right? They do think about you. They do miss the spark that you shared. They're very attracted to you. But the universe is asking for patience here so that you can trust in that, right? And use this time to develop your self-reflection, right? To ground yourself, to tend to yourself, to tend to your own dreams, and know that when this movement comes, like out of the blue, it's gonna come in an aligned way. It's gonna be purposeful for the connection. So it's very necessary. And yeah, I mean, that's it. That wraps up your Do They Secretly Miss You reading. So if something in these messages resonated with you, and gave you some fresh perspective. I'd love to hear from you, so just drop a comment below and let me know which part or which card spoke to you the most, because your reflections mean a lot to me and they really help bring these readings to life. And if this reading offered you some clarity or some comfort, just please give the video a like, because it really helps the channel grow and it tells YouTube that these messages are reaching the people that need them. And if you're new here and you'd like to catch the next pick a card or the next weekly forecast, please don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the little bell so that you don't miss out. And thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm sending you lots of love and lots of wisdom as you move forward on your path, just trusting the timing of your own journey. And I'll see you in the next reading. Bye!